Good morning, everybody. I'm Angela Hughes, a luxury travel entrepreneur here at the Luxury Travel University. And I am here with Sandra Mackintosh, a DMC from Luxury Travel Solutions in South Africa, Durban, right? Is where you're at. Yeah. So do you want to introduce yourself? I'm so excited. We've been trying to connect for weeks to get you on the show. Because everyone says that you're the master of South Africa. So talk to me, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll move into your presentation for a minute.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sandra Mackintosh. Thanks to Angela for having me on the show. My company is called Ruby Travel Solutions, and we are based in South Africa. We opened up in 2018. Obviously, COVID has hit hard, but yeah, we keep pushing on. I started my company with 14 years experience in the industry. I started off at the age of 17, working at a bed and breakfast, working my way up, actually working with one of the largest DMC companies in South Africa. From there, actually worked for an outbound company, traveling overseas for an incentives company. But my passion drew me back to South Africa. I just love this place, and I knew I had to open up my own company. My passion is here, and so it began.
You have an extensive amount of knowledge for this area, and I've heard that from other suppliers. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, working for the previous company that I worked for, they really taught me a great deal, and tourism has been a passion of mine since early childhood. Traveling with the family, and it's been a passion, and still now to this day, there is so much to learn and grow, and we just continue. And South Africa is a beautiful, beautiful destination, and there's so much to do here.
So tell me a little bit, because we're not just a geography class, even though I'm a geography professor, but tell me a little bit about what are some of your key strategies to get people over to South Africa? If you're a brand new agent in my group and you're just starting to sell South Africa, what's some advice you can give that agent, and maybe some strategies to help them turn clients maybe your direction? Because Africa provides a wealth of information and a wealth of destinations. And so why would someone pick South Africa? And we're going to go into that in the slides over maybe East Africa. What's some strategies that you can share with us?
I've got quite a bit in the slide that will come shortly, but as a new agent in America, the first thing that they need to do is find a good DMC, someone that they can work with and trust completely. And you'll see why I say that in the slides. A lot of people have sort of their hesitations about South Africa from media and whatever, but really, number one right now is the exchange rate. We have luxury accommodations, and we have scenic beauty. We have everything you can think of: the lodges, the Big Five, game reserves. Really, we have everything here that you can think of, and it is really a destination that sells well to your customers. And a lot of the time, people that come here, they actually return back here again, because there is so much to see and so much to do in South Africa. So
okay, so let's dive into your slides really quick. And if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and then get your questions ready, and we'll answer the questions throughout the show today or in the comments after the show. So let me share this presentation really quick. This is always tricky on these, the way we do things now. I'm always afraid it's going to show my desktop and the disarray that it's in. Okay, so I'm going to go to present here. Talk us through this. That's not your first slide though, right? Let me get to your first slide. Hello, let's try again. Here we go. Okay, so we've welcomed ourselves. We'll move on here. Okay, you just talked about this too, finding the correct DMC. So I think that's so important. And here in the Luxury Travel University, we're talking a lot to different DMCs, helping you guys get linked up with them and doing one-on-ones with them, so you can sell their products as well. So Sandra's a good resource today for that. So moving on, let's talk about the intro here. And this is a college class today. That's why we call it the Luxury Travel University. So tell us about this.
Yeah. So I don't see the slide on my side. I don't think we're showing it on your screen.
Okay. Yeah, you may not see it because it's on my screen.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So basically, like I said, the first thing to do in order to sell South Africa is finding a good, the right DMC. And a destination management company is a professional service company with someone with a local knowledge and expertise in their destination. They usually act as an extension of your company, someone that's offering all the ground services, such as your meet and greets, your activities, your tours, your transfers, your accommodation, meals, etc. A DMC must be someone that you can completely rely on and trust from building a great partnership with over time, knowing that your guests will completely be taken care of from the time they arrive to the time that they depart. There we go.
Yeah, hold on just a minute because I'm not seeing the screen. So I just double
see it now. There we go.
Okay, I hate to just it won't let me go full screen in this program, which is so sorry, you guys. We can't go full screen from her program, but let's just keep going from here then. Keep going. So
perfect. So basically, just a quick intro on South Africa. As you can see on that map there, South Africa is roughly the size of Texas, just to give you a whole. We have 9 provinces, with the most popular amongst international tourists is the Western Cape, which is right at the bottom there in the blue, home to Cape Town. And Mpumalanga is where you'll find famous Kruger National Park. KwaZulu-Natal is actually my home province. It has the historical battlefields, Drakensberg Mountain Range. The other 6 provinces are the Northern Cape, the Eastern Cape, Gauteng, Limpopo, Northwest, and Free State. And all of these offer their own unique sites and experiences. We have more than 50 million people in South Africa with a mixture of different cultures. In fact, we have 11 official languages spoken here, and we're known as like the Rainbow Nation. We have major credit card facilities accepted throughout the country and safe drinking water as well. I just want to go through to the next slide.
Okay. Sorry, this is a little tricky. This isn't, we're watching this from a different thing, and so I'm struggling with it. Okay.
So basically, I've put together sort of top 10 reasons to visit South Africa, which could help you as an agent to market as a great marketing tool as well. The biggest selling point is affordability. Like I mentioned before, the exchange rate is great. The rand versus the US dollar, especially now, it's a really good selling point at the moment. We have global award-winning 5-star establishments and luxury lodges throughout South Africa at really great prices. Wildlife, South Africa is known as one of the world's top game viewing destinations in the world as well. Let's go through to the next slide.
Okay. Sorry, this isn't so smooth today, you guys. Okay.
All right. So we have beautiful beaches, some of the world's finest beaches. We have scenic beauty, stunning coastlines. We have dramatic mountainscapes, huge areas of untamed bushveld, semi-deserts, lakes, waterfalls. South Africa really is many worlds in one. We'll go through to the next slide. I've lost all voice here. So, we have friendliness, and over again, my visitors comment on the friendliness they encounter everywhere they go here in South Africa. Our weather is brilliant. We have some of the best weather in the world. And, our winter month is between June and August, where you'll find that our low season, you'll find our rates are slightly reduced. Our winters, however, are not your average American winters. Our temperatures range between 66 to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
okay, those are my temperatures.
Yes.
This is so interesting because you really could use the currency and the weather to pull people there.
Completely.
I've never thought to like sell those two things. So that's a really good tip for you guys watching. When people are like, oh, I want nice weather. I mean, that's like San Diego weather, people. Yeah. And then just that price exchange. I always tend to think Africa is more expensive because people spend a lot more there. But actually pulling out that little currency tip to sell them there. Everybody's looking for a good currency deal.
Yeah, so it's really good. And in fact, like my best game viewing is in winter, like there's less sort of bush and stuff. So you'll see a lot more animals and stuff. So it's really good for game viewing as well. So yeah, you're getting best of both worlds.
Okay, moving to the next slide here.
Yeah. So, we have activities for all ages, whether your customers are adrenaline junkies or they just want to relax. We have bungee jumping, shark cage diving, horse riding, hiking to scuba diving, you name it. We have whatever you can think of. The options are really endless.
Okay, we have a question that just came through. When is the best time to travel to South Africa?
All year round. It really is, it's hard to say. And like, we have people that come here all year round. If you're looking for summer vacation, if they want to go through to the beaches, like I say, the rates are slightly reduced in winter, but the rates are still good in summer as well. Obviously, your sort of peak seasons are December, sort of January. We do have more holiday makers from Europe because they are here to experience the sort of hotter months and stuff. But yeah, all year round, hey.
I always love the word holiday maker because we don't use that word in the US. And I was like, why don't we use that holiday maker? Like you're making your holiday. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is automatically a draw for you guys is your accents always, so great. Just hearing a foreign accent. We're so locked up over here. We want to hear your accent all day long. Okay. So another
back to the other slide, but it's fine. You can stay in here. We also have great history here as well. We have tours based on apartheid era, Nelson Mandela's freedom struggle. Guests come here especially to experience our history. We have great museums, gold mining shaft tours. They can visit the cradle of humankind, the battlefields. We really have amazing history sites as well. So, of course, number 9. We have excellent infrastructure as well, superb banking systems, good accommodation, great transport networks, and of course, number 10, responsible tourism, which a lot of people are looking for nowadays. And South Africa is recognized globally for its major conservation efforts and protected areas, and they're committed to community and conservation projects, and they really are aiming to be as green as possible going forward. So
okay, so it sounds like I skipped this one. You talked about this. So 7 was activities for all ages, 8 history, 9 excellent infrastructure, and 10 responsible tourism.
Yeah.
Tell us about this for a minute. There's a lot of options.
So, South Africa really has a seductive appeal for many travelers of all ages. Like I mentioned, there really is so much to do. Most of the people that come here, as mentioned before, they will return again with their family or their friends, The options are endless and there's so much to choose from and actually not enough time to do it in one trip. And for that reason, we always suggest a minimum stay of at least 8 nights. After all, it really is a long-haul flight from the USA to South Africa. It could take around 16 to 23 hours on a flight, depending on which airline, which route you're taking. At the moment, flight costs range between $1,200 to $2,000 per person, again, depending on your airline. And your stopovers. So yeah, we suggest a minimum of 8 nights. Obviously, it depends on the amount of time guests can stay here.
I'm always recommending stay the longest you can. So 8 nights, I feel like to Africa is way if you're going to go all that way, make it a 2-week thing and see as much as you can. Of course, it all comes down to budget and time, but one thing about South Africa, it's tucked down there. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of geography surrounding it. And so you could easily fill up 14 days,
Right.
whether or not you could afford to fill up 14 days, I think.
Yeah.
So, and in the U.S. market, most
It's
people can't do more
possible.
than 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
there's lots to sell on. Really quick, I noticed that this looks like a lot of families could come to South Africa.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It definitely is a family destination.
So definitely fun. Now, I often think that people think it's more concrete jungle down there compared to someplace like Tanzania. Can you expound on that for a minute?
No, and in fact, that's why with this whole COVID thing and stuff, we often say with the travel opening up, it is one of the best places to travel to because we are so open here, it really is beautiful. We have so many open places and like the tours and everything is out and open. There's so many scenic, beautiful places to visit. Yes, we have the cities and stuff, but we really are. There's definitely we're not concrete jungle.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know.
Definitely not.
Okay, tell us about the itinerary.
So itineraries, we personally prefer to tailor make all our itineraries. We base them around our guest budgets, the guest interests, their past experiences. Everyone is different and they want something unique. And as you can see, South Africa has something for everyone. So we'll go through to the next slide. We have so many different variations to itinerary packages that we can put together. This is the most sort of basic itinerary that I've put together on the slide, which is an 8-night itinerary. It's a luxury package and it's 4 nights in Cape Town and 4 nights in Hoedspruit. Now, basically, guests will arrive into Cape Town and they will be met by a personalized meet and greet service, escorted to their coach or their vehicle, depending on if it's a large group or just a family or FIT. They'll also meet their qualified guide who will stay with them throughout their stay in Cape Town. They'll transfer to the hotel where they'll check in and have time to freshen up before dinner. So what we also do is we include a personalized welcome gift on arrival for guests, which is quite a nice surprise for them, something unique, It's always about adding those little touches throughout the guest trip, which it always just blows them away, So on day 2, this day the guests will enjoy a half-day Cape Town city tour where they'll visit the iconic Table Mountain. And in the afternoon, they'll have the afternoon at leisure. Often, because they fly so far, they're sort of jet lagged and they just want an afternoon at leisure. And what we normally do is we actually book their 5-star hotel quite close to the V&A waterfront, where they can actually walk through to the V&A waterfront, which is a shopping mall, and they can do some shopping or they can relax at the hotel. It's completely up to them. On day 3, what we'll do is they'll have a full day Cape Peninsula tour. Now, this is an amazing tour, which includes a Seal Island cruise, beautiful drive through Chapman's Peak. They'll visit Cape of Good Hope, Boulders Beach, where they'll get to see the African penguins. It's really a day with the most amazing views the guests will ever see, Day 4, they'll have a day out in the winelands, Cape Winelands, where they'll have 2 wine tastings, one of which is usually paired with like chocolate tasting or cheese, as well as a cellar tour. And then we include lunch at a wine farm. They'll either have lunch either picnic style in the gardens or at a luxury restaurant, just depending on the time of year, if it's weather dependent or not.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide here.
So on day 5, usually what will happen is guests will take a domestic flight through to Hoedspruit, which is in Limpopo. This flight is about a 2.5-hour flight. And on arrival, they'll be met by the lodge staff and then escorted through to the 5-star lodge, where they'll be taken.
Wait a minute. How long is the flight again?
about 2.5 hours flight
Okay.
from Cape Town to Hoedspruit.
For some reason, I thought you said 10 and a half, and I was like, whoa.
No.
Okay.
So 2.5 hours. And yeah, I mean, where they'll stay for the next 4 nights, and all their meals, drinks, everything's included. 2 game drives a day. Often these lodges have walking. They can do walking game, tracking for the animals and stuff as well. So it really is a luxurious lodge. And then on day 9, they will fly from Hoedspruit back to Cape Town, where they can take the international flight back home, or they can fly to Johannesburg and take their flight from Johannesburg if they wish to. I mean, that's the shortest itinerary that you can get if they're on a time constraint. And usually this itinerary, with everything included, your drinks, your domestic flights, you're estimating at around $3,000 per person.
And that would be a net pricing, I'm assuming, then. Yeah, because obviously if you're selling just for everybody in the Luxury Travel University, DMC's quote in a net price, and then you're adding on your commission to that. So you could add on 10 or 15 or 20%, whatever. Some of the big ones like Abercrombie and Kent, I mean, they're probably adding on 40 or 50% with their overhead. Would you project that on some of the big tour operators? How much they're
sure, yeah. I've seen some really high prices.
Are you ever shocked when you see what some of the tour operators are charging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is shocking to know what the end client is paying. It's sad. It really is sad because, obviously with us being the end sort of buyer at the end of the day, what our suppliers are offering us, it's sad what the end customer is paying at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on for a minute. Okay, so tell me one more time what you said the price would be roughly net on something.
3,000.
Okay, so it's really affordable when you use a DMC, because even if you added on 20%, you're making a lot more than you're using a Globus or a Trafalgar or an Ambion or something like that. So, I mean, think about that. You could sell a lot more South Africa, you guys. Okay, so here's some additions that you can add on that are really exciting. Tell me about these.
Yeah, so, like I said, South Africa is a destination that offers, a variety of breathtaking holidays and experiences throughout the year, and it's really hard to place different package options on a slideshow, there's many variations that you can choose from depending on what your guest interests are, and that's why we prefer to tailor make our itineraries. And just to show you a few examples, you can add in 2 nights in Hermanus in whale watching season, which is usually between June and December, where guests could see the southern right whales. If they know.
Okay, wait, let's talk about the whales for a minute, because are people really seeing whales? I go on these whale watching tours here, and you're lucky if you see one.
Oh, yes.
Are you seeing them?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
I just want to make sure I see a whale if I do that. A lot of whales.
And like, if guests are more sort of interested in safari as well, you can combine so many different luxury camps where they could camp hop. We have over 600 parks and reserves to choose from in South Africa. The options are really endless. And you could include KwaZulu-Natal, for instance, where I'm from. We have the battlefields. They can hike in Drakensberg Mountains. It's beautiful here, we have the Zulu cultural tours, and we could drive from Durban, just 3 hours north of Durban. There's amazing Big 5 lodges as well. There's the famous garden routes where they could drive from Cape Town through to Knysna, Plettenberg Bay, and end off in Port Elizabeth. Or, you could start your tour off in Johannesburg, fly from USA to Johannesburg, if they're interested in sort of the history of the apartheid, and do Soweto township tours. It really is endless. So it's a matter of finding the right DMC to work with and getting to know your customer base and what your guests are interested in. It will really work in your favor, and to plan the most memorable experience for your guests, and really a trip of a lifetime for them.
Exciting. Okay, tell us about the guides.
So, a lot of people have concerns over safety in South African crime, and we always advise our guests to take the usual precautions, as they would in any foreign country. And what we do, we have the most qualified and respected guides that escort your guests throughout their trip. So they're never taken to any unsafe areas. They share their knowledge and teach the guests about South Africa, about the history, the culture, and they always ensure they're taken care of, from the time they land until the time they leave. Guests are really blown away from the service. And not only do they have a guide that's with them, they have 24/7 on-call service with us. So, it's really added value, and it gives you as the agent peace of mind, knowing that your guests are taken care of. Another service which works well with having a DMC here is just following up and calling the guide daily to check, how's your guest doing? And then, you send an email to the agent, say, spoken to the guest, this is going on, they've had a great tour. It's just giving that, that extra update. It just really works well, with them. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the turnoffs for some people, is that they've heard that, someone's going to punch the window out and steal your purse. And a lot of, just petty crime like that, like you're going to be attacked. And so you have older people who are really afraid to try out Africa. How do you dispel some of those misconceptions or conceptions that, it might be dangerous for them? I mean, I'm sure that it can be dangerous.
Yeah, look, as with in any place you might travel to, there are places that are unsafe, and that's why we don't recommend that they travel alone or walk in dark alleys, or walk around with all big jewelry and carry lump sums of cash around with them. And that's why we prefer to have our guides escort our guests with them.
Brand new iPad and iPhone out, of course. Okay, let's move on. COVID-19.
So, of course, this is our new world at the moment. And it's been a tough year, but, we are finally open for travel. And at the moment, the only requirements, we do have to have guests have to have a COVID test 72 hours prior to arrival. Obviously, hopefully things will change in the future. But, the TBC SA and SA Tourism, they've worked really hard at putting safety protocols together for all our suppliers and our partners to follow, so that they can ensure that our guests are quite safe when they are here, and obviously our guests have to wear masks, and our guides have to wear masks, and all our vehicles have to be sanitized. So it really is quite a safe environment. So it curbs the sort of spread of the virus while guests.
And are South Africans actually wearing masks there? I mean, it's so ridiculous. We have to ask this question.
They are, and our kids are wearing masks in school. It's quite hectic. It's very strict. Very strict.
Okay, and there's other parts of the world that aren't. So okay, do we have something for this?
Yes. So if you press play, it's just a video highlighting South Africa and what your guests can expect while they're here. Actually, videos and pictures are really great marketing tools for social media platforms. So if you click on 16.
We'll go ahead and connect that video in the remarks. How about that? Because they usually don't smoothly.
I can do that. Definitely.
So Ruby Travel Solutions, how can people get in contact with you? I see that you've got your website here, and you'll connect that down below. And then you can definitely reach out to me, and I can connect you and make the introduction to Sandra. Okay, let's talk. Let me jump out of here. Sorry for the kind of rough start with the video today, or with the PowerPoint. Not everything goes particularly smooth when we do it virtually. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's what one of the viewers says today. Timing of the testing can be hard. Some countries say number of hours from departure, and some say within arrival. What is it?
So, I saw there were some issues with that. So obviously, we had some issues with guests that had quite a long layover in Dubai, and it actually caused some issues with COVID tests and stuff. So, it is hard to try and manage that. So, we had some guests that actually had to take another test while they're in Dubai, because, the rule is with South African tourism that it's 72 hours and that's it, unfortunately.
So 72 hours, even if you have to lay over for 8 hours in another country. You need to make sure.
If it goes over, like I know some people had a transit that ended up like, I don't know, it worked out to be 90 hours and they were in transit. They had to retake another test while they're in Dubai.
So now that's an issue. I don't even want to know logistics that.
So, unfortunately, you know, we hope that things change. It's just, you know, with we just have to try and book a more direct flight, unfortunately, to try and avoid that issue.
Okay. So help us as advisors. What did you do in your career to attract more marketing, or not more marketing, but more clients to your agency? I mean, there's so many destinations in Africa, so you're competing with the Kenyas and the Tanzanias and the gorillas and everything. So what can you do to help people bring in more business? You've got some great selling points here, but how can they actually attract more business? I mean, what do you find? What are you doing as a DMC to attract more business that will help us?
You know, it was really hard in the beginning. Obviously, just marketing yourself. Social media is a really great platform. Joining groups like yourself, you know, attending roadshows, you know, like WTM and things like that, meeting new sort of tour agencies and stuff like that. It really helps, you know, building your brand and getting to people to recognize you. Another really great tool is word of mouth. You know, once people get to know you and trust you and stuff, word of mouth is such a good tool, and it does help. It really does help.
What are you doing for people who have to cancel last minute? What's like your booking policies for things like that?
So, you know, our suppliers have been really helpful, extremely helpful. You know, we've negotiated such good terms. A lot of our suppliers have held onto deposits. You know, we'll be rebooking guests when they want to come back here. You know, a lot of them have refunded 100%, and we've given back our agents back their refunds. So, you know,
so you're working with people if it doesn't work out. And I mean, because obviously COVID comes at the last minute. And so really if someone tests positive and within 72 hours, are you guys willing to work with them to make their trip a success?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, you know, with us is we have such good partnerships with our suppliers, and that's the main key. You know, obviously it's not all on me, you know, and it really does help having the partnership with them, because at the end of the day, it's up to our accommodation establishments and stuff. You know, we've got to be able to have that relationship with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. In wrapping up, do we have any questions? What's some of the major questions that you get right off of the, you know, the top? I mean, from advisors, what are some things that you usually or generally feel like you're always being asked?
Sure. I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, I think I've really covered everything in the sort of, you know, the presentation.
For me is, okay, here's one right here, a question that just came in. Do you work with any consortias? Like Travel, Rosso, Signature, any of those?
No.
You work? Yeah. So, I mean, she's directly on the ground in South Africa. So, and some of the suppliers that we're bringing on here, the DMCs, they haven't, you know, ever built a relationship with the consortias because maybe they sell a lot just in the area, and we're just introducing them now to the U.S. market. I know that's something we're working with Sandra on, is getting more U.S. agents using her. Now, that doesn't mean because she doesn't work with consortias that she's not a good supplier. It means that she probably has not been introduced to consortias before, because that's not a model they use really too much outside of the United States. And so where she's directly sold to a lot of inbound passengers per se. So I think one of the things that I'm taking away from this is you can go to South Africa anytime during the year. It's going to be fabulous. Second of all, it's way, way more affordable than we thought it was coming, especially when you buy directly. And you can make a lot more money as an agent working directly with Sandra on South Africa. And I know that she would love to put together your own fam trip there because she wants you to come to the country and figure it out for yourself. And that's going to be like your biggest selling tip right there is testing it out. I see this and I get super excited. And I'm just like saying to myself, how many times can I go to Africa this year? You know?
Well, hopefully South Africa soon. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely number one. You know, as much as you've got a good relationship with the DMC and they can help you sell South Africa, number one is to experience it for yourself. You know, it really helps.
Yeah, luxury properties, because we're a luxury travel supplier and I'm the luxury travel entrepreneur. There is such a range of properties in South Africa. What are some of your favorite luxury properties?
So we have so many. Like honestly, like I say, you know, there's Sun International, there's Table Bay Hotels, just beautiful at the V&A waterfront. We've got Radisson, you know, we've got the Oyster Box here in Umhlanga. There's beautiful lodges, Sabi, there's and beyond. You know, there's Kapama Game Reserve. There's so many. There's just you can't even name them. We have just there's unbelievable lodges.
Okay, somebody just commented, great presentation. I'm working on a group for 2022 and 2023. Your rates seem really affordable, which they are. May I have your contact information? And so we're going to have all of her contact information in the chat or in the comments with her website. And again, I can do a one-on-one introduction for you guys. Thanks so much for joining us, Sandra. It's so great to have you on the show today. And it's short and sweet today. And I think it's just been perfect. And I feel like I've learned so much. I feel like South Africa has been one of those destinations where you get a little bit overwhelmed because people want to do that. And then Botswana and Zimbabwe and all of these different things. And then soon you're like feeling like, whoa, I can't diagnose what to sell really. I can't break it down. Do you also, and this is a question I think what a lot of people would have, do you also sell the other destinations down there or are you strictly South Africa? So which do you do?
We do Zanzibar. We do from here, which is great. We do Namibia, we do Zimbabwe, we do Botswana, we do Okavango Delta. You know, we do sell all the.
Because I would think people would want to go Cape Town and South Africa and then move on to some of those. I definitely see like the Falls, Victoria Falls, etc.
Yeah.
So you can
it's a great add-on, you know. Especially if they have extra time, even if it's just 2 nights. 2 nights in Victoria Falls is perfect, you know, to see the falls.
Right?
Very short, but you can do it, and you know, you can go do another 2 nights in Botswana if you can, and then fly home. So it really is doable.
I'm going to make a commitment right now, Sandra, that I'm coming to South Africa at some point soon. Yeah, because I can barely do these shows each week. I'm like, oh, I commit to every supplier. I could be gone all year round, and what a life that'd be. Anyway, thanks for having us, Ruby Travel Solutions.
Yes.
Right? Ruby Travel Solutions. Get that. Yeah. Sandra Mackintosh, Ruby Travel Solutions. Her information will be in the chat today. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm Angela Hughes, a luxury travel entrepreneur. We've got great things coming up, including fam trips that we're announcing soon. And tomorrow on the show, we're actually going to Egypt. So 11 o'clock, I think. I will post that later today. We're going to be talking to St. Regis, a hotel there, and also Yasser Salah. About his products and his DMC there. So join us tomorrow. Thanks for having us, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.